What should your marketing budget be, and where should you spend it to get the most return? That's exactly what we're covering today. And by the way, this process works whether you're working with a budget of $10 million or $1,000. Okay, how much is the typical marketing budget? Well, according to Deloitte's annual CMO survey, the 2023 average marketing budget is 13.6% of a company's total budget. As a percentage of revenue, that is 8.7%. But of course, it's not quite that simple because marketing budgets vary according to whether you're marketing to businesses or consumers and whether you're selling products or services. For example, B2B product companies tend to allocate 7.8% of their revenue to marketing. Compare that to B2C product companies who spend 15.1% of their revenue on marketing. You can see that is quite a wide delta. But your marketing budget can also vary according to your industry. For example, in healthcare, you might be spending 18% of your revenue on marketing, whereas in energy, you might only be spending 1%. But of course, the most important question, whatever your budget, however big or small it is where do you allocate that budget to get the best return on your investment? Shinobi, are you ready for a 7-step marketing budget planning process? That's yes. First thing you got to do when you're planning your budget is set your goals. Now, this is usually more revenue, but not always. There may also be sub-goals underneath a more revenue target, like website traffic or market share or brand searches. Some of our clients, for example, will give us an annual revenue target, but then throughout the year, they'll have mini targets around new products or services that they might be launching. Now, this goal setting process is best done with your stakeholders or your boss, whether this is directors of the company or the board. And don't be afraid to push back on any goals that aren't realistic. You might be set, for example, a goal to double the revenue through the marketing, but if you've only got a budget which is 2% of your revenue, and you know from the stats earlier that that's way less than your competitors, then you might need to push back. They're asking for Ferrari performance with smart car fuel economy. And you're good. You're really good. But even you are not a magician. Step 2 is to analyze your current performance for low-hanging fruit. Now, in digital marketing, we're mainly doing this in 2 areas: traffic and conversions. For example, at Exposure Ninja, we'll open Google Analytics and we'll just have a look at the website's performance. We're looking for traffic channels that are performing well or poorly, and we're looking at the conversion rate of the website. In this website, for example, we can see that organic search and paid search are both driving the most traffic to the site. But if we go over to the conversion rate, we can see that there's a big difference between the conversion rate of these 2 channels. Now, what we would do here is we would analyze the paid search conversion rate to see if there's anything that we could do to increase it further. In this case, it's fairly high anyway, so it's unlikely that we're going to get it all the way to 12%. But let's say that we could increase it another 1 or 2%. That might get us part of the way to our goals very quickly and quite cheaply, meaning that we then have more budget to allocate to bigger, more bold projects later on. And that's why we're analyzing performance and looking for low-hanging fruit at this stage of the marketing budget. We're looking to see whether there are any quick tweaks that can be made relatively cheaply to get us at least part of the way to our goals. If there are, great. That frees us up budget to spend on more expensive but potentially higher return on investment things later on. Now, you'll also want to work out your cost per lead or cost per sale per marketing channel here, if you can. This will help you identify which channels have the most potential for growth and are performing best for you. If you want extra bonus points, then work out your average lifetime value per customer per channel. This can be really instructive. For example, there's one business I know where they have a marketing channel which doesn't generate them a huge volume of leads, but the leads it does generate them are really valuable, and about 6 of the top 10 most valuable customers ever for this business have come through that channel. Now, if we were just analyzing marketing channel versus marketing channel based on the lead volume, we would say, let's drop this channel. It just isn't performing as well as the others. But as soon as we realize that 6 out of 10 of their most valuable customers have come from this channel, we say, actually, this might not be delivering high volume, but it's delivering really high quality. So we're going to keep this as part of our marketing priorities, and we want to allocate budget there over the next year. Step number next is to do some competitor analysis. Yes, we ninjas love competitor analysis so much. we even do it in our marketing budget planning. The main reason we're doing competitor analysis at this stage is we want to understand where our competitors are allocating the most marketing budget. We want to know what their priorities are. If we're talking about digital marketing, there are some very cool ways that you can understand how much your competitors are spending on each marketing channel to build up a bit of a picture of their priorities. For example, if you use AdClarity, you can see how much your competitors are spending on their display, video, and social media ads. Here I am looking at Monzo's ad spend on these channels over the last few quarters, and I can see that their spend on video has gone all the way up to $1.4 million before coming right back down to $35. Now that tells me they prioritized something, didn't work too well, and then they brought it back down. I might want to feed that info into my marketing budget planning later on. But I can also see the ads that they're running, and I can see how many ads they're producing, i.e. how much are they spending on creative, as well as the quality of that creative. There's a big difference between an ad campaign that is based on professionally shot creative and one that is mainly using user-generated content style videos that people film on their phones. One is not necessarily better than the other, but one is definitely higher budget than the other. And by the way, if you think this tool looks pretty cool, you're right, it is. You can get a free trial of it by going to exposure.ninja/wow. Now you'll also want to check out how much your competitors are prioritizing search, both paid and organic. And you can use a tool like SE Ranking or Semrush, which I'm using here. You can get a free trial of that as well at thankyouninjas.com. So I can stick in my competitor, see how much they're spending across their paid search, which keywords they're targeting, whether they're mainly focusing on brand phrases or whether they're competing for other commercial phrases, and I can see the landing pages that they're building as well. All of this helps me to identify how much of a priority is this to them. I can see they're ranking for a lot of branded terms, so I might put in a filter to exclude any keywords including their brand. And then I can see all of the non-branded terms that they're targeting, ranking for, and the pages that they're using to rank for those. It's a good idea to take a look at their link building activity to understand, are they putting loads of time, energy, and money into building links, and what sort of links are they building? That will give us an indication of how much budget is going into this. Take a look at their website. Are they publishing loads of content on their blog? And if so, what sort of quality is this? Is it focused on new customer acquisition? Is it focused on recruitment? And is it engagingly presented, or is it like this? You can also take a look at them on social media. How often are they posting? And does it look like they have a lot of budget going behind their content on social? And by the way, in this section, you're not looking to copy your competitors necessarily. You're just trying to understand, where are they putting their marketing budget? Where are their top priorities? And if you want some help analyzing your competitors' digital marketing activities, then you can request a free website and marketing review from the team here at Exposure Ninja. Just go to exposure.ninja.com/review. Okay, so you've got your goals. You've analyzed your current performance for low-hanging fruit, and you've had a look at what your competitors are prioritizing. So it's now time to work on your marketing channel priorities. Usually your marketing channel priorities should be a mixture of large flywheel channels and small flywheel channels. Let me explain. Large flywheel channels are those that take a bit of time and energy to get going, but once they're going, they can build up a huge amount of momentum. So SEO, content marketing, building organic communities on social media, starting a podcast, using video marketing, doing automated email marketing campaigns. All of these activities take time and energy, in some cases weeks, months, or even years, to really build up traction. But the great thing about them is, once they have that traction, they can be pulling in leads and sales for months or even years, even after you stop doing them. Now, you want some of these channels in your marketing budget because these are the ones that can provide real, sustainable, long-term scale. But you also want some small flywheel channels. These are ones that are quite quick to get going. Things like paid search ads, paid social ads, influencer marketing campaigns, email broadcast campaigns, telemarketing, live events. These are things that you can get up and running relatively quickly, and they can be very scalable. You can push them up and down according to your budget and according to your priorities. Now, the downside on these small flywheel channels is that once you stop them, the effect tends to disappear and can disappear relatively quickly. But they're still a really useful component of any digital marketing campaign. Now remember, at this stage, you're not assigning budgets, you're just choosing your priority channels. Let's do a couple of examples. Example 1, you're a B2B supplier of branded plushies. Your large flywheel marketing priorities might be SEO and content marketing because you want to get ranked for people searching for unique branded plushies or corporate plushies or unique company merchandise or phrases like that. Your small flywheel channels might be paid search because you also want to run ads for those phrases, or you might want to run some LinkedIn ads to people in the companies who may be interested in buying these because they may not have thought that they needed a branded Shinobi plushie until they actually see one. Example number 2, let's say that you're a luxury women's wear fashion brand. Well, some of your large flywheel channels might be things like social media on Pinterest. You may have seen that competitors are doing really well on Pinterest, and this is going to be a priority for you. You might also want to prioritize content marketing and SEO to get some style guides ranked on Google. Then for small flywheel channels, you may want to run some influencer campaigns and back them up with paid social. You might want to schedule some email marketing blasts throughout the year to promote your new collections. So it's a really good idea to have a combination of large flywheel channels and small flywheel channels. It's not always easy to pick your priority channels. So again, if you want some help doing that, then request your free website and marketing review from the team here at Exposure Ninja. Just go to exposureninja.com/review and we'll be sure to give you some pointers. Step number 5 is to start assigning budgets to your priority channels. Now here, you need to work out how much each channel needs in order to succeed. And yet, the answer is always going to be more. So at this stage, you might find that actually, rather than having your budget spread an inch deep and a mile wide, you might want to condense the number of channels that you're able to prioritize to make sure each one has enough budget to actually get some traction. Now, hopefully from your data analysis earlier, you'll know your cost per lead and your average customer value per channel. So you'll be able to feed that data in here and work out how much growth you can expect from each of the marketing channels in your plan. Now, it's not going to be an exact science because it's not always easy to predict growth. For example, at EN, our SEO clients on average see a 30 to 40% organic traffic increase each year that they do SEO and content marketing with us. But if they're a tiny site when they first come to us, i.e. they have fewer than 1,500 visitors per month, that yearly increase goes all the way up to 80% per year. And of course, if you need help projecting the revenue increases from each of your marketing channels, then you can. All together now, request your free website and marketing review from the team here at Exposure Ninja. If you qualify, we'll build you a plan which will show you some indications of what you should be expecting from each channel. Okay, so you've got your budget and you've got it allocated to your priority channels. Step number 6 is to review and adjust this budget though. Because in the words of Prussian Field Marshal Helmuth von Moltke, kein Operationsplan reicht mit einiger Sicherheit
über das erste Zusammentreffen mit der feindlichen Hauptmacht hinaus.
Or, no plan of operation extends with any certainty beyond the first encounter with the main enemy forces. Or, no plan survives first contact with the enemy. So what does this mean for marketers? Isn't it obvious? Other than the failure of the education system to teach English people other languages. You planned your budget, you embarked on your plan, and then stuff happened. Some of it was good, some of it was bad. That's why at Exposure Ninja, we review all of the campaigns that we're running quarterly in a process called the QCC, or Quarterly Campaign Checkup. In this, we ask our teams what happened, what were we expecting, and what actually happened. Have the business priorities changed? i.e., are there any new products or services that we need to be pushing? And is what we're doing still the best use of the marketing budget? You see, we're constantly asking, what else could we be doing with this budget that may get an ROI? Now, that's not to say that we're flitting from flower to flower relentlessly without giving anything the time it takes to actually get traction. We have to be patient, but that patience has to be balanced with a constant sort of skepticism. Is this really the right use of that budget? Marketing budget can only be spent once. Now, that's not to say that we throw everything out each quarter, ripping the tiny little seedlings out before they've had a chance to take root. But you have to balance patience with reviewing, is this, what we're doing right now, the best use of our marketing budget? And are things working the way we had expected? We have each of the teams at Exposure Ninja answer a series of questions to help us identify what's working well in their channels and what could be working better. We then have a meeting with all of the campaign team to work out what our priorities are going to be for the next quarter based on this analysis. The final step is to think about agencies versus in-house. Now, obviously, I work at Exposure.ninja, so we do have a position on this. But even so, sometimes I will admit it's better to hire in-house. But one of the main things that agencies have going for them is the ability to switch between different marketing channels relatively seamlessly. Let's say that you're working on organic search, content marketing, and pay-per-click, but you don't necessarily know which pay-per-click channel is going to be best for your business. Well, if you're working with an agency, you can switch between LinkedIn ads, Google ads, Facebook ads, Pinterest ads, Amazon ads, all relatively easily. But if you're hiring in-house, you might need to hire different people each time you switch those channels. Hire in-house, fire in-house. An agency can also help you validate certain channels. For example, you might not know whether Amazon ads is going to be a good channel for you, but an agency can help you test it, get a good approach, and then if it turns out to be really effective for you and scales to the point where it makes sense to hire someone in-house later on, you can do that. And of course, agencies can help bring expertise from different industries and different companies to help you get those flywheels moving just that little bit faster. Thanks for subscribing and see you next time.